Rejoice, everyone. We're back with another Sekhie Reacts to Fate.
You don't know how hard it was for me to keep myself from, like, just outright talking about Sei Shonagon last episode. Like, I genuinely wanted to, like, discuss them together. And I had to, like, stop myself, because if I talked about Sei during last episode, I wouldn't have anything to say about her now.
There were a couple allusions there.
There were a couple, but I luckily don't think we ever mentioned her name.
No.
So speaking of Sekhie's Off-the-Shelf Solo, Volume 2, Sei Shonagon's Pillow Book, which is, thank fuck, far more manageable. This is only like 350 pages. Thank literal fuck.
You don't understand. Sekhie wanted to delay the Murasaki episode so she could read the Pillow Book and have more time for Tale of Genji.
Yeah, no, I ended up reading it, like, all in one go, but, like, for a second I thought I was gonna have to be like, let's flip around our servants for this month. But it made sense to start with Murasaki, not Shonagon, because we have more on Murasaki and it kind of sets up. Speaking of having more on, so Sei Shonagon was also a lady in waiting at court. I mentioned that there were two empresses at court at the time when they were ladies in waiting. So Sei Shonagon was actually lady in waiting to the opposing empress, T.H.E. T.H.E was the original empress, not the hotshot that was promoted because of daddy's power. And so basically she served kind of the same function as Murasaki did, but in the other empress's court. It's like a figure who wrote poetry, someone who was famous in her own right, a lady in waiting. Sei was also famous before her Pillow Book for her poetry, and a lot of her poetry is included in the 32 Immortal Beings of Japanese poetry and a couple other compilations. Like, she has a lot more poetry included different places. And what's interesting is that this work, the Pillow Book, is like my type of fucking fun read, right? Because this is a combination of, like, gossip, some advice, observations, complaints about court, actual excerpts from poetry that she wrote. Like, this is basically her diary, but not. And it, like, intrinsically details her life at court, right? Like, what she thought during the day, who she saw, what she heard. And I do like me some gossip. I do, you know, when I hear an unknown car coming down the street, I crack my curtain open so I can see who it is, so I can gossip to the neighbors. I am that kind of person. Or quarantine has made me that kind of person. So, once again, we are in the same kind of boat as with Lady Murasaki, right? So, Sei Shonagon lived from approximately 966 to either 1017 or 1025. Once again, pretty big range of, like, she could have died in 1017, she could have lived till 1025, but we just don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Heian period, and she's another one where, so Sei Shonagon is an allusion to the position of her father at court and other things, right? It's not her actual name. Although many scholars think that it may have been Kiyohara no Nagiko, although there are other options, like, obviously, if we don't have her name written down, like if someone hasn't written down Sei Shonagon's personal name it's pretty hard to be, you know, objectively certain. But at the same time, much like Murasaki, we have kind of, like, we assume it's this person, and we've based...
Sei Shonagon also wrote a lot more about her time, like, her direct time in court, not making allusions to it in story.
She did,
so there is I have to imagine it's a lot easier to, like, pick out who that probably was.
Yeah, she absolutely did. Fun fact, Lady Murasaki thought that the Pillow Book was, like, an example of just trash literature. Like, it wasn't worthy of being really literature. It wasn't, like, high writing or any sort of art form. And she really, Lady Murasaki, like, only a few times admitted, like, scathingly that Sei Shonagon was indeed a good writer, and they were her allusions to it were actually in the diary. Like it's written in her diary. She's like, even though Sei Shonagon writes nothing but, like, pedantic court gossip and such, she is a good writer for what it is. Like, it's so begrudging, and it's so funny because it seems to be almost wholly one-sided. Like, Sei Shonagon does not write anything mean about Murasaki in her accounting. Not really. So it seems to be, like, predominantly one-sided. Like, Lady Murasaki was just up on a fucking high horse, being like, no. And I think, so she was also married, and she had potentially a few children. She wasn't widowed, she was divorced, unlike Murasaki. And I believe, once again, her daughter went on to, like, write famous poetry. I mean, yeah, I suppose if you're from a line of, you know, it would make sense. Yeah, so similar time period. So there were the same hang-ups, obviously. Like, court was treating women the exact same during Sei's time as Murasaki's time because they lived during the same time.
Forgot to put that in.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta say, after covering Murasaki last video, we know even less about Sei Shonagon than we know about Lady Murasaki. And there's no real reason for why we know less. Not really. Especially considering that the Pillow Book is far more...
She certainly shared more.
Yeah, like, she was definitely like, totally. That's a thing, you know? Like, it's so funny. Like, she talks about, she's got one here, right? There could be no more splendid celebrations conceivable than those around the time when Shigeisha entered the court of the crown prince, right? It's just detailing Shigeisha entering the court and what she was wearing and how the room looked. Or His Excellency's wife wore several layers of white over 2 robes of stiff glossed scarlet, and a formal train in the style of a gentlewoman over this ensemble. But as she was seated further in on the thinner side of the room, facing east, I couldn't make out much more. Madam, I just have this image of her with, like, a pen in hand and some of those, like, you know, those binocular glasses on a stick that women held up, like, in like, the steampunk movies, just being like, like, is that a blue rose on purple, or is it a red rose on purple?
It's just funny that they're both she and Murasaki are, like, some of the biggest authors of their time period.
Yeah, and they're very different.
Yeah.
Like, one writes essentially a gossip book, and one writes, like, an epic novel, you know? It's, opinion. Excerpt 54. It's disgusting when a well-bred young man casually calls out the name of some low-ranking woman he's visiting in a way that reveals his intimacy with her. It's much more impressive if he pretends not to have it quite right, even though in fact he knows her name perfectly well. If he's visiting the apartments of women in palace service, he should really enlist a groundsman to call her, though of course this is not a good idea at night. And if it's some other place, then he should employ one of his retainers. After all, everyone will recognize him if it's his voice. However, there can be no objection if it's someone inconsequential or a young girl. Young people and babies should be plump. Provincial governors and such like people who have some authority should also be on the portly side. This little children waving quaint toy bows or sticks about in play are wonderfully cute. It makes me want to stop the carriage and scoop them up and gaze my fill. And what a delightful whiff of incense from their clothes lingers in the air as the carriage goes on its way. Like, this is a far cry from, like, Tale of Genji. Oh, women without prospect who lead dull, earnest lives and rejoice in their petty little pseudo-pleasures I find quite depressing and despicable. People of any standing ought to give their daughters a taste of society. Jesus fucking Christ. I loved this book. This book was great. This, like, because there are sections where she's just like, oh, I love the color of pink carnations. How uncouth of that boy to call out that prostitute's name. How dare he? It's glorious. It's so amazing to read. Because, you know, it's almost like reading... You know how, like, some people have thought processes where you say something and then their mind goes to one thing and then another and then another and then another? It's like reading someone's brain as that's happening.
There's a cat by my leg.
Yes, there are kittens in here.
Mascot time.
Mascot! Loki. Good boy.
Good jump.
Oh.
Oh shit, that was a great jump,
Fam,
Loki.
sometimes they make it from here. Anyways, I had to share some of the passages from this book. They are gloriously petty at times.
So, having gone over that, what class do you think Sei Shonagon is going to be? At least the main Sei Shonagon.
I almost want it to be Faker.
Faker.
Not gonna lie. I just think it would be really funny if it was. I have to say, once again, I'm leaning towards caster just because of the associations with writing and that sort of thing, and knowing that Murasaki's a caster, and that they were rivals. But, you know, you never know.
Well, why don't we get right into it then?
Yes.
Meet Sei Shonagon. Oh, that's for later. Sei Shonagon.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Somebody really said, what's the fucking K? It's not Fairy K. This is like Rainbow K. Somebody really said, like, what's that street? What's the shopping street? The famous one?
Akihabara?
Yeah, somebody really said Akihabara Rainbow K.
So this is the return to the somewhat more traditional.
So, okay. So, much like with Lady Murasaki, go back to the traditional. I'm going to go through. I like this one. This is really pretty. I have a fun commentary, right? I don't know if this is what the artist intended, but to me, and this obviously, this is an opinion based on my own kind of like views and observations, right? But the difference between the Pillow Book and the Tale of Genji is actually quite large, right? And when I was reading this, I was definitely thinking of someone who was younger and perhaps more immature, or someone who wasn't quite as serious, even, as Lady Murasaki. And for me, this explosion of Crayola, right?
Blue hair.
Well, this makes me think of like someone who's not as serious. I mean, so she is older than Lady Murasaki, but she feels like she accepts like childish joy more and just like expresses herself in a way that Lady Murasaki doesn't.
So, just while we're on the topic of the design here, at the end of of Murasaki, there the unhinged hint that the artist is involved in rather controversial Fire Emblem designs. Can you tell this artist has a style?
Oh yeah, that man really just said, let's add boobs.
Well, boobs, but also the hair. The hair in particular.
Yeah. So this is what I can only describe as an explosion of a Crayola pack. And this is like I keep saying K, and I mean KEI, as in like the way that you just like Decora K, that kind of thing. This looks very like Decora K, Rainbow K, like modern Japanese street fashion.
She just has a different color to go with blue for the first two Ascensions. One's black, one's red or pink, I can't quite tell.
You mean for the hair?
Yeah.
So, go back to the first Ascension.
This is black.
Here, her hair is actually red, blue, and black.
Really?
It's tricolored.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
It's tricolored. And then in the next one, it's just red and blue.
And this one, it's just black.
Yeah.
And then we have her more...
That's cute. That's cute. I do like the writings up or like around her walls and stuff. It's such a modern design. Like, I was surprised that it was so...
You were surprised that it went even more modern than Murasaki's.
I was surprised that it was so 2015 Decora K. Yeah. That's adorable. But like, so go back to the first one, right? You know what this outfit looks like? I bet you if I went to Akihabara, or what's that, the S one?
Shinjuku?
Shinjuku. If I went to Akihabara or Shinjuku, I could find someone dressed like this. Like, straight up. It wouldn't even be a cosplay. They would have just chosen to dress like this. And I'm not shitting on that. I think it looks great. But this is like 2010s Decora K, like Rainbow K.
Like, this
sort
is
of.
just not what you expected.
No! No, not even a little.
Well, scooting back over here to Murasaki. And yes, I know I can control click guys. I know.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Their hand kill again.
And Hell Realm.
Scroll through these.
Wait, go up a second. Stop. Oh, okay. Yeah. From the diary of Lady Murasaki Shikibu, we can see how Murasaki Shikibu clearly kept the existence of Sei Shonagon in her mind. Glorious.
Alright, so we get to the abilities here.
Wait, so what class is she?
Archer.
Oh!
This is not the reason, but I like to think she's flinging insults with high skill.
Honestly, after what I just read, yes.
I don't think that's the actual justification, mind you.
But it would be so good!
So she, like Murasaki, is primarily fighting with her poetry. The lore on her is a little bit lighter than Murasaki, because Murasaki actually sees involvement... I don't know, she has some involvement in Hankyo here, I think. But Murasaki's got the Abe no Seimei connection there. She doesn't... So I think the implication here is that she wasn't actually fighting like she does as a servant in life.
That's interesting.
A lot of what she's getting is from being a servant.
So she's got independent action as well.
Yeah, that's an Archer thing for the most part.
Yeah, I like that. Goes out to have a good time even when her master's not there. And there's... Oh, see! Sei Shonagon's lady, Empress T.H.E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For the snow atop Mount Xianglu. And then Dharma of Ekayana, a Lotus Sutra. Yeah, that's right, because, like, Dharma and Buddhism in China and Japan was really big during the Heian period. Yeah.
So these are just straight up poems.
Oh, yeah. The 36 Heian era immortals. That was the one I mentioned earlier that her poetry is featured in. Yeah.
See, actually, we should click in here because I believe they specifically write the poem here. Is this one the one that they write the poem?
I don't know.
I'm not seeing it here. Oh, they wrote them down here.
Oh, yeah. So, Afusaka no Sekhie, Hangu Pass may open with singing birds. However, the gate of love is not so simple. This unconquerable Afusaka no Sekhie. First of all, to get through it, unsurprisingly, and the stars unite. As the night grows in darkness, the stars shine ever so bright. Subaru, Hikoboshi, Tai Hakusei, and Nagareboshi. The power she unleashes is full radiance like the stars. Aren't those some of the Japanese names for the constellations?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I think they might be.
Yeah. I don't...
Like the name of her NP.
Emotional engine. Full drive.
Look, if this book is not just a written form of the verbal diarrhea that I assume she held back in her everyday life. Like, she is scathing in some of these.
So let's move on to the NP here.
Okay.
So the NP is actually a reality marble.
Oh! Okay.
It's a direct attack on the souls of her enemies, assaulting them with emotions of sadness, sympathy, and nostalgia. This causes them to forget about the ongoing battle, and once they are released from it, they are left open to a devastating attack.
Oh, interesting. The Pillow Book Spring Dawn Commentary is the title of an annotation of the original Pillow Book brought to life by the writer Kigin Kitamura during the Edo period. Interesting. Yeah, that's another thing. Remember we talked about how I fought to find the unabridged version of the Pillow Book was another one. I did have to go looking for the unabridged version.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I guess a lot of people when they translate it, they take out a lot of the unimportant bits and they leave in mostly political commentary and poetry, and they kind of take out a lot of the other stuff. So this is the unabridged version. And there are abridged versions, and I did not want one of those, and I'm glad I did not get one of those because this is great.
Leaves out nothing.
Leaves out nothing. Like, this girl be dropping insults. Like, good God. Things whose Chinese characters make no sense. Table salt. Gowns. Underrobes. Clogs. Rice paste. Tubs. And trows. Like, what kind of... Just like, I don't like... The Chinese characters don't make sense for these. Here's my list of all things.
Let's go ahead and click into the NPs here.
I'm
gonna show you something sweet.
It's so... Oh, I know what it reminds me of. What the fuck?
She's got very different animations when you switch her to her more formal outfits. I kind of want to pull that up in a second, too, even though I don't have it up here. Wonder if I can... Here's her ND. Alright. Before I move on...
Hang on, I just figured out what she reminds me of. Switch-chan from Meme Girls.
Yeah?
The consoles. I'll find an image and put it up on screen, but she looks... Oh my god! Somebody on Twitter has actually compared the two. Like 1-to-1. Me encanto la Kira Kira Archer.
That's right. So she was actually for a bit known as the Kira Kira Archer. This was non-NA, I don't believe.
Oh.
But this was more of a thing to keep her identity hidden in Japan. Though, I'm going to be honest here, everyone guessed it the moment she was announced and shown off.
Yeah, no, she looks like Switch-chan from Meme Girls.
I'm going to click here because
My
this
god,
actually
there's
does
so
show
much color.
What?
Oh. Wait, I like this outfit. That's cool.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
If I get more of her spray.
Oh, I like the movement of the... You know what we forgot to look for in Murasaki? Jiggle physics.
You did forget. You do get to edit this, though, so... You can, like, in the corner of the Murasaki video, type your opinion.
Because her skirt is jiggling, which gives me hope.
I want to say, is this going to the other form? Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to see some of her animations here.
I like how she just got, like, colors and writing, like, all around her.
She's also just floating.
Yeah. I noticed that. Sometimes she sits down and she's still floating. Color! It does really look like a basic crayon color package exploded. I don't hate it. This is like every primary color. This is like red,
You
orange,
like your
yellow,
pastels.
green, and blue. This isn't pastel though. These are aggressive. This whack, whack 'em. Way. I feel it.
And yeah, we'll go ahead and cut that off here and move over, because guess what? First time in a while, we have an arcade.
Yes! Wait, did we not have one for Murasaki? Oh. I mean, I'm happy we have an arcade. I just wish we had one for Murasaki.
Ooh.
Archer card, of course. God. So colorful. Ooh. Hell yeah. I have that person, purple.
Sei Shonagon と申します。すでに筆を置いた我が身ではありますが、この
The outfit is at odds with the vocals. Like so demure and like peaceful, but like that outfit.
挨拶ってこんなもんでいいかな。
This is what.
これからよろしくね、ちゃんませ。
That's what. Feels
Oh yeah,
right.
she also doesn't call people master, she calls them chanmas.
Oh.
夏は夜、鍋てこの世は糸を動かし、塗りつぶせ枕の装置、エモーショナルエンジン、
I love it.
She turns around in that one.
I love it. That's glorious.
Alright, so I'm not going to have as much to say about the...
You should close out of this tab.
I'm not going to have as much to say about this one when we get to it. I'll go ahead and move back over here to this page. You saw the design briefly.
Briefly,
But
barely.
I won't have as much to say about this one because this one hasn't hit NA yet, so I don't...
Okay, is it
in
new
the
this
lore-
year?
It's going to be next summer.
Okay.
The problem is, though, I didn't see a lot on the wiki either, so there wasn't a lot for me to cross go here. As far
Okay,
as
so
what
she
kind of-
obviously has a summer version.
Yeah.
Is it a whole nother class?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually they are.
Okay, yeah.
So this one's Berserker.
Oh.
Let's move over here this time because I feel like the comments are getting mad at me.
Go on. Yes, alligator. Also, her hair's gone from to blonde and blue in this one, and cheetah print.
It's very clear she's dyeing her hair, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's also red in there. It's tricolor hair again. 10 out of 10.
No, I won't make that comment. I will hold myself back. Should I just make the comment?
I'm curious now.
So, she is a lot more stacked than she looks in this art.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even know. I mean, I noticed, but like, I didn't. I did not notice. Cute. I like the purple and the green and the white.
Actually, she might be so recent, I don't think she has an April Fool's form yet. No,
Aw.
she should. She should. Wait, was that this year's summer? No, it was this year. It
Wait,
wasn't this
she's
year's
got
summer.
one of those squeaky hammers.
I know it wasn't.
Look, she's got a squeaker hammer.
Oh, it's right there. Duh.
Oh.
I'll go back to there in a second.
That's not her April Fool's.
Is it not?
No.
I will find it. It's not on this page yet, though.
You may have to Google it.
Yeah.
You gonna show me her sprites though? Yeah, she's a lot more stacked. Oh, I do really like the tricolor hair. Okay, so deadass in this image, her hair is the fucking Switch Chan from Meme Girls. Oh man, it's now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna. I don't think this was brand new to this year, was it?
There it is. Oh no, that's her normal.
That's her normal. Maybe it is this year's.
Oh.
That would explain.
Yeah, because there does not seem to be an
No,
April
it wasn't this year. I know all of this year's.
Well, then she didn't get an April Fool's because there isn't one.
There always is one on April.
But there isn't one.
The fuck?
There's no April Fool's on Google.
She wasn't this year's summer, though. She should have one.
There's no April Fool's listed anywhere.
What? I'm shooketh.
Knick-Knack's brain is breaking.
Hang on. There.
Oh yeah, it might be down there.
Are they
Just
just...
freaking scroll, my dude.
Sorry, my finger is actually currently under a table. They don't have one listed here.
It's not in the other?
No. What? What? What?
It is 2021, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it should
was
be out
last
by
year.
now. Huh.
Guess not.
Huh. Interesting.
Hey, if anyone finds one that maybe we missed, send
Let
us
us
a
know.
link.
We'll look in the we'll put that
Yeah.
in the update video.
Yeah.
So NP. I guess
Oh,
I guess I should. Did I get
Also,
any notes here on this?
I love her alligator. I love her blow up alligator.
No.
It
So
is-
this is what I mean by they haven't put
Oh.
any.
Oh shit! Yeah, that is a blank.
Guys, why are you slacking on updating her information? She's a skateboard, by the way.
Yeah, but that's not as cool as the blow up alligator. You know why the blow up alligator is cool? Switch to the blow up alligator. Right? Because I have a blow up alligator that stays at my grandparents' house. Right? And it is my favorite thing in the world to take out on the fucking river. And it is such shit. Knick-Knack, you don't understand. It doesn't hold air. And if you sit on it, it will just cave in and dump you in the water. But I love it more than life itself.
Okay, so I did actually, in my research, comb over her bond lines to get a little
Okay.
bit of lore on her here.
Okay.
We're gonna have to cover in the update video at this rate, though.
Oof.
Or in an update video when I can eventually get more information. But so one of the skills she has is
How
called.
you feel about adding another servant to the update video?
I don't know if it'll end up in this one though. This one might be too soon. This one's called her first skill's called Summer Street. Apparently, she studied painting under Vincent van Gogh, and then she realized she sucked at it, walking away with a newfound sense of color that helped her poetry.
You know what? That explains the rampant explosion of primary colors.
Her second one is called Night Pool Slider. I think it's just an increase in speed found by an increased taste for thrills.
Hence the alligator, of course.
In list of elegant summer sweets. Not
Yeah.
sweets. A shaved ice mixture that Sei Shonagon can make that has healing properties.
10 out of 10.
Her NP is Emotional Engine, Vivid Full Sensation.
Okay.
I'll click into it here if you want to read over some of the... Oh, no, there's no text!
Nope, there's no text.
Ah!
You're in pain.
Such pain.
Card art? Oh, no, you have NPs to show me.
So, I don't... Because this is newer than
Oh,
NA, we don't have
cute.
all of the...
Yeah.
So we'll just comb through some of this.
Cute!
オッケー乗ってきた
Get it. Get it. Get it. Ooh, there's the shaved ice.
Yep.
And she got a brain freeze. You remember getting a brain freeze 2 weeks ago, don't you, Knick-Knack?
Yep.
On that tiger's blood bullshit. Blue raspberry all the way.
よし
It is the superior flavor.
We should go get that blue raspberry McDonald's icy thing.
よっしゃ
I don't know if they're still selling it. It was a summer item. Check.
We'll check after this video. We'll show back up at our next one with it if we can get them.
せーの
Jesus fucking. Say no.
夏は
Yeah, they just... So this is just an
Yeah.
entire fight there. We're gonna...
Okay. There, NP's coming up.
彼方に届けエモーショナルストリート
She's skateboarding! Is that Florence?
Yep.
遮ることなく咲き渡るべし
It's like skate park graffiti.
So yeah, that's Sei Shonagon. Why don't we move over to the extra art here?
Jesus fucking Christ.
We already combed through it a little bit to my frustration.
Just a little.
Look at all that lore.
Look at all that sweet, sweet lore.
We actually have a few extra things here.
Yeah. Oh, I see that there's that travel one
What?
that you fucking open something.
Apparently. Can I... No, it just straight up opens her page.
Huh.
That's-
Well, we'll see it in a card art.
Yeah.
Remember, because that's that card art for the...
Can I click this? Yes.
Haha.
And from here, I can click this.
Oh, yeah. Once again, over an actual photograph.
It's like
But I like it.
picture, like actual drawing here, photograph in the background.
Yeah. No, I like this, though. This is really cool. It's kind of weird to see her in traditional clothing. I'm not sure I love that.
It's just sunglasses.
Yeah, I much prefer this. At this point, I'm just like, this character cannot be in traditional clothing. It makes more sense to be dressed like this.
And then let's go to...
So you've got card arts for me from both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sprites. Anything special here?
Is she dabbing? Oh my god. She's low-key dabbing.
You just got dabbed on.
Oh look, selfie stick. Is that it? Looks like
That's a selfie.
selfie. That's so
Then you have like the
ridiculous.
different
Yeah,
variations on her going...
Oh,
They're
Jesus.
just expression sheets. And
Yep.
here we go. Some
Okay.
CEs.
So we'll start this time with Summer.
Are we on summer?
Yeah. Don't open that one. We already saw it. She's in the background. I didn't recognize her, but that's the one from Lady Murasaki. Remember?
Oh.
That's the office one. I didn't realize, but she's a plushie in the background.
No, we're on regular. This is summer.
Oh, shit. Sorry. The two... No, it's because she's wearing a swimsuit in one of them. Caldea...
Picture day. This is the Bond CE.
Yeah.
That's interesting. She went over that with many colored pencils and markers.
Oh, so many. She hands you a notebook decorated with colorful stickers. It's unclear whether what she's written, filling the notebook cover to cover, is actually of any value. But one thing's for sure, the words are very much from the current version of her.
Things she liked, things she disliked.
Places she visited for the first time, the people she met, people she held dear to this day, so many other things. Don't show this to anyone. She smiles as she says that. Jesus. That's adorable. I like that. I like
basically.
You know what I like? I like modern Sei Shonagon as just a scrapbooker with no filter.
The Valentine's seed.
Of course.
Ito Sweets.
Ito Sweets. Inside the egg, there's a piece of paper that contains a single phrase, Iwade omozu. Though I speak not of it, I think of you. This was a line that was once sent to a broken-hearted Shonagon during her lifetime. Aww. This phrase is so uplifting that it is almost a spell to lighten one's heart. Aww. Adorable.
Her travel one we saw earlier.
That's the travel, and that's the same one under the same sky in this our world. Yeah.
This was the year the pandemic started.
Oh, maybe that's why they're doing the drawing over the real picture, because it's like you can't go anywhere.
So this was planned and drawn out long before that, but it's an interesting timing there. It worked really well.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
It's too bad they did travel journal during the pandemic year like this, because it looks like it's intentional because of the pandemic.
But it was such a neat message that everyone's under the exact same sky.
It does. I actually really like that for 2021. 10 out of 10. Well, no, because if this came out summer 2021, we were in pandemic summer 2020, so they could have planned it.
It was summer 2020. This was summer 2020. Because this is the same year Castoria came out, and Castoria 2 years later, 2022.
Oh, okay. Hey, look, she is water sportsing.
So this is again pre-summer, say.
That's why I got confused with the whether it was summer or not. I went overboard. Being underwater is also fun. Everything in this world gives me so much feels. I feel it, say.
And yeah, there we go.
Not to be pedantic.
We've hit.
That did not close.
Because I'm doing it with my not. I just switched.
Bam! Just use the right fucking hand.
Not one. Use the left hand.
It was obviously not working. Craft essences.
We got some concept art.
Yeah, it's cute. You're right. She did get boobs.
Yeah, I don't know why I noticed that of all things.
That's certainly an angle.
Yep. Icons. Sprites.
Yep.
Not as many fun ones here.
Nah.
Only two.
Oh, just two. Oh, and these are more general ones. They're not.
They're the Bond CE, which is always the big wordy one.
Yeah.
There's the shaved ice.
Oh, yeah. Elegant Thing, 2021. Shaved ice mixed with liana syrup and put in a new silver bowl. 1,000 years ago, she called this an elegant thing. A bowl with ice and syrup, sweeter than any fruit, in an era when people rarely had the chance to eat ice and sugar was still considered medicine. Even now, she thinks this kakiguri is special. Aww. Quoted above are random thoughts I had while saw Nagiko's perplexed groan as she sat next to me, almost tearing her hair out. That's a mood. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Wait, who wrote this? Was this the master in FGO? Or is this Murasaki?
I don't... Quoted above are random thoughts I had while... See, they don't have a... It shouldn't be while saw Nagiko's. It should be while I saw Nagiko's. And I think...
Nagiko is Sei Shonagon's other name.
Yeah.
Her birth name.
Yeah, it is.
Or the believed to be birth name.
Yeah, believed to be birth name.
She actually calls herself that when you first meet her in FGO.
Oh, nice. 10 out of 10. Ooh.
Dessert.
So good. Honey willow toast. Its gorgeousness and liveliness remind you of a southern country. The exciting toppings were an arrangement of colorful ice creams, fruits, and candies. The whole piece of toast. Hold all of them. See, this translation is jank, too. It should be the whole piece of toast held all of them up on its own. This is the to-go choice in a party. Honey,
unfortunately,
no,
these are all
honey.
unofficial translations that haven't been combed over too much.
Yeah, I can tell. By the way, I wonder what are the fireworks for? Nagiko-san didn't give me any answers.
Seriously, who's writing these? Is this the master trying to hand her hand at
right? Just like writing down her record. Is Sei Shonagon being like, write down everything. Write down all your thoughts so that you can publish them.
So yeah, that's her. I actually do have another note here, because you did bring up what Murasaki Shikibu thought of her. So I
Are they friends in FGO?
Sei Shonagon and FGO get summoned in an event that's entirely because of Murasaki. So
Yeah.
Sei Shonagon and Murasaki are very well acquainted with each other in FGO.
Okay.
And I couldn't find a good summary of the story from that event, and it's been a little bit since I've read it. But I seem to remember Murasaki Shikibu having the exact relationship with Sei Shonagon that you described, where it's like, the writings were a little bit immature, but they were well written,
Sketch.
and I couldn't stop reading them.
This is sus, but I'm fascinated. It's like watching a train wreck.
But Murasaki doesn't necessarily like to admit that all the time and thinks Sei Shonagon is out to get her when Sei Shonagon
Really
isn't
does
at
not.
all.
10 out of 10.
And once they get over that little hurdle in their friendship, it seems like she has a hard time keeping up with Sei Shonagon's energy.
I could see that. Even when I was reading about Lady Murasaki, they talked several times. It mentioned how she couldn't really write when other people were around, and she had to have like quiet and peace, and she liked to be on her own. You know, that's why she retreated to Lake Biwa at the end of her life. So that's understandable. No, this is good. I'm glad that we had enough to talk about, because I was worried after already doing Murasaki in a different video. Like, honestly, if I hadn't read the books, this probably would have had to be one episode.
Well, I was actually keeping an eye on the time. It was only about 10 minutes for both sections where you were reading the books. So it would have dropped it to about 30-minute videos.
True.
At least from the unedited version. We do have a little bit here and there
some
we
stuff
can
to cut
but
out
that's
here and there.
We didn't make too many big giant pauses or mistakes.
Yeah. No, I like this. This is an altogether different vibe than Lady Murasaki, both in just like the way that Fate does it and like the character itself.
But it makes sense.
It makes sense, and I like it. I like the dichotomy, because we've got like kind of the calm, collected, slightly older lady who like sits down and writes these epic stories, and then we have what I can only describe as an explosion of 2010 with spray paint. Like, this aesthetic was everywhere.
I think it's very interesting that both Sei and Murasaki have their first designs being designs that were not from their era.
Yeah, they're very clearly of a different era. But then again, both of them also, it talks about them like reading and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, here's the thing, and maybe this is just me, but no, this is not me. Reading broadens your horizons, right? Like, even if you don't have enough money to travel or experience other cultures or something like that in person, you can read. You can get books with pictures. You can get books that tell you all about different places, which means that, like, every single book in this room, right, is another world. Do I want to go off to a fantasy world? Do I want to explore a real culture that existed at one point that I can't explore now? I feel like people who are readers and writers just have like a very broad perspective. Because to be a really good writer, you need to be a reader. Like, you have to enjoy reading, and you have to be really willing to do it, to be honest. Because it reflects in your writing. Like, the more you read, the more you naturally understand how words should be put together, and what words can be used when, and what situations should you not use certain words, smut writers of AO3.
Throb.
Sword. Member. Like, I don't know. I like seeing both of them as like something completely different, and then having their third form be that kind of traditional outfit.
See, I'm trying to find like the trashiest book I can from your library and put it on camera. You just went through the library, and everything's kind of...
Here. I will expose myself with the trashiest book readily available on the shelves that are wholly mine. This is Lindsay Sands' Taming the Highland Bride. And you know what? I don't see one right now, but there's definitely at least 2 or 3 books in here somewhere that just have a shirtless man in a kilt carrying a sword over his shoulder. And those are mine. Specifically mine. The Scottish ones are mine.
These are all your books. Actually,
No!
because
No!
we do have a few books in here that are mine.
I also do have a significant chunk of my mother's books and my
Yeah.
father's books.
But I meant as far as the white bookshelf stuff.
Yeah, the white bookshelves are all mine. Although some of my books are over there because they fit in better with Mom's books. So, but yeah, this is the trashiest book currently on my shelves that's easily visible, and I'll have to shove that back in a second. Just like Alexander shoves it into Mary Stuart in this book.
Well, on that note, we do have to give the viewers one verbal hint here for those that didn't want to watch the video.
Well, here's the thing, right? So, oh wow, I really knocked into the camera. That was an accident, right? So, you're getting 3 servants this month.
The next one was added in post, not as obvious.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say they both make stories and are in a story.
It's a very Sekhie servant.
Yes.
It's a very Sekhie
well,
servant.
The servant, I don't know. The character, yes.
Alright. The person it's based on is a very Sekhie sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
With that, we'll see you next time, guys.
Like, comment, subscribe.